It's another edition of the Daily Beat on KBEY 103.9. Ben Shields joined by DailyTrib.com news editor Dakota Morrissiey. Been a busy week as we had our Burnet County candidate forum this past Tuesday. And Dakota, I got to say it went well.
Man, thank you so much, Ben. Obviously, couldn't have done it without you and the other members over at Victory.
Yeah, glad we could bring it to people, and I think they're going to get a lot out of it over the next few weeks leading up to Election Day, early voting, and then Election Day. So, Dakota, your overall viewpoints on the candidate forum?
I thought it went really well. Everybody, had great things to say about some of the biggest issues facing Burnet County. And what I put out this week was a breakdown of how you can view it, because it's about an hour and 8 minutes long. Not everybody wants to sit through a whole hour and 8 minutes. So I went back through, and if you go to DailyTrib, you can find our recap story, and you can go to the timestamps of everybody's responses. You can see the questions I asked and the research that went into them and the breakdowns of what went into in their answers. So if you're kind of lost on, well, what is the rock crusher? What is the tax rate? I tried to include all of that so you could be privy to their responses.
All right, so we had the two Burnet County judge candidates with Brian Wilson and Alan Trevino, and then the two Burnet County Precinct 2 commissioner candidates. That's Leonard Ginner and Damon Byerly. So read more about it at DailyTrib.com. All right, so we're not done with candidate forums. Now we move to Llano County. Going to be there on Thursday.
Yep.
And we have a commissioner's race and a county judge race there to talk about.
Yes, another set of big races. The county judge plays a huge role in local government, and your county commissioner has a huge say in everything that happens in your precinct. So what makes this race a little different is there is a Democratic challenger on the ballot for the Precinct 4 commissioner race. So whoever wins this will go on to face them in November, whereas in Burnet County, the Republican nominees effectively are getting those offices because they have no challengers.
So where's the when and where for the forum, Dakota?
So the Llano County Forum, doors are going to open at 5 p.m. so you can mill around, visit with the candidates, and the forum itself will start at 6 p.m. That's going to be at the Llano County Community Center, just west of town, if you know that area. And it's out by Robinson Park, if you're familiar.
Off of 152.
Yep. So it should only last, maybe a little over an hour. And we're going to live stream that. You're going to be able to watch it during and after. And we'll do a similar breakdown on DailyTrib for that one as well.
All right, DailyTrib.com. All right, a big day this past week for local high schools and their athletic programs. Every 2 years, the UIL realigns districts, and that happened this year. And so we get to see Marble Falls and Burnet. We see a little rearranging in their district, but they still have Stephenville, Burnet, and Lampasas in their districts.
That's right. We came out today when we put out a little UIL realignment update for Burnet, Marble Falls, and for Llano. So you could see the slight changes. And like you said, really the big change for Burnet and Marble Falls, who are going to remain in the same district, is we're getting China Spring now, who I think a few years ago, after talking to Coach Timmerman, said they were a state championship team. Since then, it's kind of changed a little bit. And they already played Jarrell, who is now a district opponent. So they're familiar with the Jarrell squad already, but they're going to actually be playing them in district now. So there's now going to be one more school than there was last year within the district that they're in.
All right, that's Region 3. Last year they were in Region 1 the last 2 years, and now both Burnet and Marble Falls have moved to Region 3. Llano stays in Class 3A Division 1. And what's interesting with third district is they play Ingram Tom Moore, which is near Kerrville. And then you've got Early, which is north of Brownwood. So you talk about a big district geography-wise.
We'll talk about how going back to Burnet and Marble, we're now going to have to go out maybe to East Texas. Did you see that it goes all the way out to Lumberton, Liberty? I mean, totally on the other side of the state. So that's going to be some long drives potentially.
Yeah, Region 1, it was they were playing teams up in the Panhandle now.
Yeah.
The next 2 years, they'll be playing teams in East Texas. So amazing how that changes in 2 years. All right, Dakota, so read more about the realignment at DailyTrib.com. And another big thing this week, So we don't care what the groundhog says in Pennsylvania, saying that there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter. We care about what Punxsutawney, or not Punxsutawney, but the Pawnee the donkey. Yes.
Pawnee the miniature donkey.
Yes.
Has an 80%, according to our reporter Cadence, and an 80% accuracy in predicting whether spring is going to come early or not. If you're not familiar with Pawnee the miniature donkey, he's been predicting the seasons for the last 17 years. They brought him out to Bertram Elementary on Monday, and he met with all the kids. He's presented with a bowl of oats and a bowl of sweetgrass. If he picks the oats, we get an early spring. If he picks the grass, we get a late winter. He picked the oats.
That's what we're going to go with.
That's right. That's directly in contrast to Punxsutawney Phil, who said we were going to have a late winter. So
that's different regions. That's why I'm going with
right.
the Pawnee, the Pawnee, the miniature donkey.
That's right.
I mean, look, it's 70 degrees outside, so I think he's on to something.
Pawnee, he knows what he's talking about.
All right, so read more about Pawnee's prediction at DailyTrib.com, DailyTrib.com/subscribe. All right, Dakota, a lot of fun as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That's the Daily Beat on KBEY 103.9.